Hey, would you like to see me draw Christ the Redeemer statue located in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil? One of the new 7 wonders of the world. Just watch.
You might be asking me, why am I doing the statue Christ the Redeemer? I have a son that's a professional swimmer. His name is Giles Smith. Giles has swam in competitions all over the world. Every time he goes to a meet, especially overseas, he brings me a token. Well, I've had this statue of Christ the Redeemer sitting on my coffee table looking at it. And I've been planning to do this video. I've made sketches. I've been walking around with them for several months. So I said it's time for me to sit down and to create this video. So here we go. Christ the Redeemer is a colossal statue of Jesus Christ at the summit of Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It was completed in 1931 and it stands 98 feet tall. Its horizontally outstretched arms spanning 92 feet. The statue is made of reinforced concrete clad in a mosaic of 1,000 triangular soapstone tiles. Sits on a stone pedestal based about 26 feet high, which itself is situated on a deck atop the mountain summit. The statue is the largest Art Deco style sculpture in the world and is one of Rio de Janeiro's most recognizable landmarks. I not only chose to do this drawing because of the statue, but as I looked at photographs, the thing that drew me in, besides just the large outstretched arms of Jesus Christ, were the fantastic sunsets that I saw. Christ the Redeemer is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it's on Mr. Smith's bucket list to go there to actually see it. I love these beautiful sunsets and the colors that I've seen. I've seen skies that look like Da Vinci's Starry Night, and just breathtaking cloud forms and colors that remind me of many impressionist paintings. I chose to start off using black paper. I haven't used black paper for a long time, but it used to be one of my favorites. I find it lends, it's very good for me to start working in the background, building up my ground. As you see, I blend lots of colors. I don't just use straight colors that come out of the stick. I do a lot of underwork and build layers almost like cake. I like my oil pastels to be thick and to almost look like icing. As you see, I'm always filled with chunks. I look at a lot of artists that work on YouTube, and sometimes the ones that work with oil pastels, their things are so smooth, but thick and chunky, like thick and chunky peanut butter. And I love it. It's like cake. Like I said, I like my drawings to be like icing, with rich, thick colors and layers. So I started with my cloud forms first, then I went down to my land forms. The last thing I'm going to work on is Christ the Redeemer. My Christ the Redeemer is going to be basically a silhouette with slight outlines. I saw many figures or photographs of him that I enjoyed, and it was the ones that had these tremendous cloud forms with color doing sunrises and sunsets. So I wanted to emulate them. 1850s, the Vincentian priest Padre Maria Boss suggested placing a Christian monument on Mount Corcovado in honor of Isabel, Princess Regent of Brazil and a daughter of Emperor Pedro II, although the project was never approved. In 1921, the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Rio de Janeiro proposed that the statue of Christ be built on the 2,300-foot summit, which because of its commanding height would make it visible from anywhere in Rio. Citizens petitioned the president to allow the construction of the statue on Mount Corcovado. Permission was granted and the foundation stone of the base was ceremonially laid on April 4, 1922 to commemorate the centennial on that day of Brazil's independence from Portugal, although the monument's final design had not yet been chosen. That same year, a competition was held to find a designer, and the Brazil engineer Heitor de Silva Costa was chosen on the basis of his sketches of a figure of Christ holding a cross in his right hand and the world in his left. In collaboration with Brazilian artist Carlos Osvaldo Silva Costa, later amended the plan. Osvaldo has been credited with the idea for the figure's standing pose with arms spread wide. French sculptor Paul Landowski, who collaborated with Costa on the final design, has been credited as the primary designer of the figure's head and hands. Funds were raised privately, principally by the church. Under Costa's supervision, construction began in 1926 and continued for 5 years. During that time, materials and workers were transported to the summit via railway. After its completion, the statue was dedicated on October 12, 1931. Over the years, it has undergone periodic repairs, renovations, including a thorough cleaning in 1980 in preparation for the visit of Pope John Paul II to Brazil that year, and a major project in 2010 when the statue's surface was repaired and refurbished. Escalators and panoramic elevators were added beginning 2002. Previously, in order to reach the statue itself, tourists climbed more than 200 steps as the last stage of the trip. In 2006, to mark the statue's 75th anniversary, a chapel at its base was consecrated to one of the patron saints of Brazil. I learned a lot about Christ the Redeemer, the statue in Rio. I hoped you enjoyed it. I really had a great time working on this drawing. Take care, come back again, share my video, like and subscribe. Bye-bye.